things are going good, I get beside myself. Now all of a sudden, I think that I'm doing this. I think that because I'm being blessed like I'm being blessed, it's me. Silly, silly. Because see, whenever things are going good, it's God. Whenever things are going bad, and you haven't gone off, like I said about stepping off the face of the earth, that's God too. Because He's the one that has kept you from stepping off the edge of the earth. So many times He's keeping us from stepping off the face of the earth. So many times we find ourselves in a position in life where if it's just one more step, we're going to lose it. And how many times has He came through and snatched us when He snatched us? Because if He hadn't snatched us, when He had snatched us, it'd have been over. It'd have been over. So many times He had to save me from my own silly self. And so my encouragement is that you would look forward, that you would seek God for the transitional period in your life, because there needs to be a transition. Because if you're crazy, okay, I'm saying it like I mean it, if you're crazy, you need to regain your senses. If you've lost your mind, and you're now living separate from God, and you know who God is, and you know that if you live like you live in, and understand this here, the state you die in is the state you remain in. When you die, you go into eternity. And the stage that you go into eternity, you stay in that throughout eternity. So if you die unsaved, you remain unsaved throughout eternity. You cannot live this life in sin and die in sin, enter into eternity in a sinful state, and think that after you die, you're going to go into a different state. It don't work that way. The end result, the end of the game is when you leave here, whose ever side you're on, that's whose side you stay on throughout eternity. Because if you die unsaved, you ain't on the Lord's side. And so you died on the left. Okay? But you should have died over here on the right, on God's side. But once you die, it's all over with. And so the state you die in is the state you remain in. If you die unsaved, you remain unsaved on the enemy's camp, in the enemy's camp, throughout eternity. And so we have to be crazy. Think about it. We know who God is. We know what He requires. And it don't matter what your drug, what your addiction, what your condition of sin is. It don't matter. This message applies to you. Whether you're 80, anybody in here 80? Whether you're 70, I'm almost there. Whether you're 50, whether you're 12 or 14 or 16, get this here. Once you get past, let's say maybe 7, 8 years old, you're past the age of accountability. With God, God has mercy upon those that don't have a right mind, for real. I'm talking about mentally don't have a right mind, or they're not at the age or the mental level of accountability. Now, a kid 3 or 4 years old, they're not at the age of accountability because they don't know right from wrong yet. So God is merciful. And so therefore, if they would die, then they can go in eternity over here to the right. Anybody in here that young? If there's anybody in here mentally unstable, okay, so you're going to get some grace and mercy. But ain't nobody in here going to tell me they mentally unstable. Is there anybody here? I thought not. And so, bottom line is, if you want out, but the problem is, sometimes our sin is so good, we don't want out. We want to try to find a way where we can enjoy what we want to enjoy and not suffer as much as maybe we were suffering? How can I ease this pain some and keep my addiction? Well, I know I'm preaching now. I might not be saying nothing, but I know.
Tell the truth.
Because even if it's with women or if it's with men, we know, because some of us have been there. I know I ain't getting no amen, I ain't looking for that, but I know some of us been there where it's like, it's okay. God know my heart.
Right.
God know my heart. He know I don't mean this, but I can't help it right now. None of that work. None of that work. So it doesn't matter. And the point I want you to get is you can't look at somebody else and say they have a drug addiction, they're worse off than I am. Well, if you got a lust addiction, because see, I've never heard of a so-called okay sin situation.
Right.
Anybody heard of one? And so whatever your situation, when you have lost your mind to that situation and we can't do it, then we have to go to somebody that can do it. Now, there are some people that would even try to medicate themselves and go on the internet and try to find a way to medicate themselves or heal their sickness. I ain't trying. I get sick, I'm going to the right place. Because even before I go to the doctor, I'm praying. I ain't know where in the world I'm going to the doctor without praying.
Right.
I don't know what state of mind he in, but I know what state of mind God is in. So before I go even to the doctor, I'm going to pray. Because I know all good and perfect gifts come from above. And I'm trying to get healed, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. I know that I cannot operate on me. I cannot fix myself. Especially when I'm crazy. Don't y'all take that word lightly. Because you gotta be crazy to be living like you're living.
Amen.
Yeah, okay, it's an addiction, but you're crazy too. Because here's why I say you're crazy. If you know how bad it is, you're suffering, you're going through, and you won't do anything to get out, but you can sit and tell yourself the things, I know I need to do this, and then I can come out, and then you don't do it, that's madness.
Amen. Yes, it is.
And so, bottom line is, the transition will not start until we get to that verse that I read in in Jeremiah. Here's the word that I read. And it says, then you will call upon me and go and pray to me, and I will listen to you. And you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. Now, maybe it's a conspiracy, because in Isaiah 55, the word says, seek the Lord while he might be found, and call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, and he shall have mercy on him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. Seek the Lord while he might be found. Seek him while he's near. I found in my life, for me, in my life, I have found it that there are times when I can feel the presence of God around me. And even though I'm going through what I'm going through, I can just sense it. Like, man, God is so close. I just need to call on him right now. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And so when he's there, and he's like, okay, it's time now. Okay, it's time. I need to get you out of this. Okay, come on. I need you to come with me. That's the Holy Ghost. Come on, come with me. Because now get this. He ain't going to grab you and drag you, right? Because we know that God cannot, here's something God cannot do. God, in all of his wisdom and all of his strength and all of his power, he cannot make you do anything.
That's right.
We can tie God's hands, and we